Welcome to our interview series where we speak to champions of digital trust. Who are you and why should we trust you?
Hello, and thank you for inviting me to speak with you today. My name is Tara Taubman-Bassirian. I am a French lawyer with background on corporate law, but I have great interest on anything digital and communication and internet law since I did a specialization on that subject. I love anything new technology, so this is why I went into that area. And I find it really interesting because it's a fast-moving area where you have to constantly update your knowledge and try to find a way of making it work smoothly. So we're all kind of building up together on something. I find that very interesting. So I use my knowledge advising companies on being compliant online.
Thank you, Tara. Next question. How do you contribute to trust in the digital world?
I can contribute to trust. I think trust is fundamental. I've seen companies collecting data, but if they don't have the trust of the customers, they can't always believe what they are collecting is accurate. For example, I guess if you look, many of us privacy people are born on the 1st of January of some year. Because I don't want to give my real birthday, but you're asking me and you don't even tell me why. And I feel like you don't need to know my date of birth. So I'm born on the 1st of January or something. So until I have the trust, why would I actually be telling you the truth? So your marketing people would have collected a lot of data about me, but because they didn't have my trust, what they collected is worthless. That's why I think trust is very important. How to gain trust? Well, we can start by following the regulation. That's the first step. This is where I work with companies and saying you have to be GDPR compliant when you're in the EU, or if you're based outside and you're processing EU data. GDPR is a regulation that's been adopted by a group of nations. This is why I think it's very strong. It's not the best ideal law, but it's something that can work all over the Europe. So because of that, it's a very strong regulation. It's not perfect. Nothing is perfect. It has to be working with lots of different legal system, different culture, because also privacy data protection has a very strong cultural element into that. But basically, I find GDPR is just common sense. A lot of it is common sense. One of my favorite principles is data minimization. And I keep, when I start working with companies and I look, tell me what the data you're collecting. Well, quite often they don't even know what they're collecting. So they keep telling, no, I don't have that. Do you have cookies on your? No, we don't have cookies on it. So what's that? This is a cookies. Oh, we have cookies. Oh, yeah. Because someone designed a website without even really telling them, or maybe they didn't listen. But so I have to say, so why do you have cookies if you don't even look at it? So just take it off. I even are often advised to advertise on your compliance, because this is how you gain the trust. Don't simply put a privacy notice that is boring just because you have to put one. Make your privacy notice your marketing asset. Tell the people, if you come to my website, be free to do whatever you want and you need to do, but you won't be tracked. This is a gaining trust by marketing, advertising, which for me worth more than, we're not going to tell you, we might record you, we might follow you, and we might sell your data to someone. We're not going to tell you because this is not nice to say. And most of the time, it's not the company itself who is benefiting from it. It's a third party that is monetizing that data. It's a Google Analytics behind that is playing with your customers' data. So you're losing your customer trust, the benefit of a third company that you don't care about. So don't collect data if you don't need it. It's been kind of a Google hype since data collection, processing, and storing has become really very cheap. to just collect, and then we will see later on what we do. And Google started by giving us these shiny Gmail accounts, and I was one who was invited by Google to have my free Gmail account. So suddenly we thought, oh, we actually don't need to delete any email because we can keep it as long as we want. Well, no, this is a habit that we need to break. We should delete, and email inbox should not be our archive. I keep saying that, especially with lots of law firms who don't want to leave Gmail because they tell me, but it's so easy for us to have all our files on a Gmail. I said, no, think about it. Why do you give all your confidential clients' data to Gmail and Google? You shouldn't. You should protect it. You're fighting for your confidentiality, and lawyers are so strong on that. Don't use a Gmail. Delete the data you don't need. There are other ways of archiving emails or communication that you need, but inbox is not a storage box. So this is on data minimization. And then we talk about limiting access to data. Quite often, companies allow too many employees accessing data. This is wrong. For every kind of data, they should be thinking of it. Who should access that? We know this famous Morrison case, in which an employee who was angry against his employer, Morrison Supermarket, he was given a USB key with all the HR data to pass on to the auditors. He was angry. He said, okay, I've got all the HR data. I'm going to make a copy of it, and I'm going to send it to the news and put it on the dark market. Morrison had nearly lost the case, but they were lucky. They had a very good lawyer, and eventually the highest court says they are not liable. But it could have well be a case of vicarious liability of the employer who should have been negligent by giving a USB key with all the data, HR data, to their employee with whom they had issues, who had a disciplinary sanction. So each time, each employee, they should be thinking of what he should access and which way. USB key is not really the way of you given HR data. There are USB keys with password. Companies should use them much more often because even the best employee with the best intentions take the tube, take a taxi, lose it, it's lost, and someone accesses all the data. You just need a password encrypted key. It's not very expensive, and I think lots of these big companies can afford it. So limitation of who is accessing and minimizing that data. Then we come into the step of securing data. Securing data, my favorite Article 32 GDPR says it is an obligation to take the appropriate security measure to secure the data. If you want your client to give you data, they need to be trusting you to share the data, and you have to be trustable by securing the data that you've been given. Encryption. Today, it's very easy. When I'm told it's expensive, it's complicated, I say, well, open a Proton account. I'm not doing advertising, but I have no link with them. But I really like the product they're offering. It's free, super easy. Put a password, create an encrypted link, share it with whoever you want. But please don't send the key with the same email right after.
And that's Tara's giving a lot of free tips here, so we should. When we publish the episode, we need to put in the tagline Tara's free tips for.
Yeah, I will. I've just signed up to extend this, but it doesn't seem to have caught up with this session. So we've only got 5 minutes left, and then it will kick us out. So
should I ask the last question?
Last question, and then we'll have to jump out.
Okay. So last question for you, Tara. This is going to be a brief one. If you had a magic wand, what would be the one thing you would change in today's digital world?
I would love a magic wand that could wake up all the DPAs in one go. They're all snoring. I want them to wake up to start enforcing. Not necessarily with big fines. I don't think big fines to big companies is the solution. I would like PAs to respond to complaint, actually look why the company has not been compliant and tell them how they can be compliant. Give them 3 months to be compliant. This is what the CNIL, the French DPA, did in the 6 first months. Look what's wrong, tell them how to make it right. If they haven't, then fine them. But
how to fix it. Yes.
Please wake up, DPAs.
Yeah. Excellent. Very good.
Thank you. It was a
So,
pleasure.
Tara, how can people find out more about what you're doing and perhaps connect with you if they want more of your advice and guidance, but obviously pay for it this time?
Well, I'm one privacy person who is very open on LinkedIn. And nothing is perfect. LinkedIn is not perfect, but it's a great tool for all of us to exchange our ideas, to exchange our knowledge, and to be contacted. So my name, Tara Taubman-Bassirian. I can be found on LinkedIn. Please don't hesitate, you can contact me. I also got my own website, datarainbow.eu, in which I publish a lot of my tips and fresh comments usually on things that happened in the world of privacy, data protection, and AI.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Tara.
Sorry.
Pleasure. Nice talking to you.
Great. Little pause, and that's all we need. We do still have a few minutes, though. So in terms of next steps, Lydia, you're very keen on exploring the letter. We're growing all the time. And I think, Lydia, do you want to mention anything about some of the events that we're going to look at doing? Perhaps maybe one before the end of the year, start of next year?
Start of next year, we would like to, we need to find a topic. So Tara, if you find that with our platform, there is something we would like to talk about, we have some kind of good competencies lined up for advertising or AI or both. AI in advertising could also be an interesting topic, but we would like to run an event, and we would like to find a special format that people would like. We like these short interviews because people are overwhelmed with information, and there is a lot of sessions on LinkedIn. And we would also like to offer people the opportunity to somehow find out what the right sessions are. We also want to onboard more champions of digital trust. But the first priority would probably be an event. And again, we are looking for speakers, but first we need a topic. And it would be interesting for us to see what people think we should talk about. If you have any ideas or any suggestions or a wish list, let us know.
Facial recognition is something I think it's coming up a lot. We are being surrounded by these CCTV cameras. I think they are a huge threat to our freedom, and we're going to see them with the Olympics in France, and they are terrible for minor ethnicities because the accuracy is.
So biometrics would form part of that as well, then, right?
Yeah. Are you thinking about a in live event or online?
Online for sure. Online. To start with.
Online, yeah, like Heidi does her events. I think something like that. Maybe actually with Heidi, with you, with people we like, trust. Our organization is very much about trust, and this we would like to build out also our messaging and the tagline we have. It needs to be centered around trust, because this is really what we are about. I have been watching people, and when we reach out to them, it means that I or other people in our organization have been watching them and think, this is the right person for us to contact. So we don't this is also not a cold call, because we don't have anything to sell. We have a partnership to propose. And so, and we may delve further into thinking about certifications, building something. My ultimate dream, and please cut this, Greg, is to build an alternative to the IAPP. Because I'm a little bit fed up with that organization. And Tara, maybe you and I can talk about that if you have any ideas, because I'm not a big fan. And I know many, many people who are not a big fan. As I said, I was there last week in Boston. There was not a single representative from a more, I would say, non-corporate background. And I think it's problematic that the only people in that area are corporate lawyers and big corporations.
Yeah. It's one of the privacy. It's a good angle. They do good events. They share good information. But in terms of GDPR, they don't even believe it's a good text. They are more against GDPR than pro GDPR.
Something we could explore. So I think, Greg, that we have something here with Tara about the, you know, what we could do as next, and if we could build the next IAPP and a better IAPP with better representation of stakeholders. I think that, yeah,
PPAI.
yeah, exactly. Well, we will see.
PPAI.
Yeah. Okay. Well, merci beaucoup.
Merci à toi. Nice chatting with you, and we keep in touch.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure, Tara. Lydia, thank you.